Another one from the Rush catalog. My 2 cents on another solid album, I think. Signals. 1982, I believe. This was the follow-up to Moving Pictures. So I think anytime you're following up something like Moving Pictures, it's going to be tough to replicate or get that same feel. So I think you got to go in a different direction. Perfect examples if you're a Springsteen fan, Born in the USA from 84. You're never going to have another one like that. The commercial success he had. Tunnel of Love was a complete 180 from that. I don't want to say this is a 180, but it's definitely a little bit different. More synthesizers and keyboards on this one. But again, as I think about it more and listen to it more recently, this album, the sound, had a growl to it. And I can't explain it. I don't know if it was the bass. I don't know if it was Lifeson's tone, having more of a bass in it, and not as much on the high ends. But you listen to some songs like Digital Man, Countdown, I'm trying to think what, even Analog Kid, there just seems to be a heaviness to it. And I don't mean like metal heavy, but just a heaviness, borderline on mud. If you're a guitar player in music, you kind of know that term. It seems muddy, but it's a clear mud, if that kind of makes sense. I don't know. But some great tunes on this one. Obviously Subdivisions was the big hit, right? Analog Kid, Chemistry, that's another one I think that has kind of that growl to it, low end. What else? Digital Man. I love that riff the more and more I listen to it. I mean, I heard it on the Snakes and Arrows tour, and that was cool to see live and how that played out. I wasn't really a fan of it before that, but seeing it live opened me up to that. The Weapon, love that. The Weapon was part 2 of the Trilogy of Fear. Correct me if I'm wrong. You had Witch Hunt, The Weapon, and then from the Grace Under Pressure album, you had The Enemy Within. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong on that. New World Man, more of the poppy stuff. That pop type of song they used. It wasn't only about a couple minutes, like 3 minutes long, if I remember correctly. Losing It was quite deep lyrically in terms of meaning and all that. So, more synth, even electric violin, I think it was. And then Countdown to end it, when they had their ties to the space shuttle and seeing the launch and all that. So, solid album. Honestly, again, I would, if you're putting the band in certain eras, I would go from the first album, Rush, and I would end it right here with this album. Grace Under Pressure, To Hold Your Fire, maybe Presto is another era, and then I would go from Roll of Bones to Counterparts, the third era, so to speak, where they really went back to their roots, heavier stuff, but a good mix of everything. That's how I would kind of put everything together. Listen to it if you haven't. It's a great album. Not a top 5 for me, but it's solid. No issues at all with this album. I love it a lot. Listen.